Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm continuing with my George Michael discography journey, and we have made it to this video right here, which will be a compilation video filled with miscellaneous tracks he released through the years that were part of any of his studio albums, in particular his 2006 greatest hits album called 25, which was made to celebrate his 25 years in the music industry. So there are quite a few tracks from that greatest hits album that I haven't heard yet. And this playlist has about 15 songs in all. It's about 1 hour and 10 minutes. So we'll be starting off this video with the songs from his greatest hits album from 2006 called 25. So track number 1, An Easier Affair.
Here comes one for the ladies, for the ones who love me. I told myself I was straight, but I should have worried. I'm having so much fun. What you saw is what you reap now. Dancing with the freaks now. Too much you having, the habit. I'm working on you. I'm having so much fun. Not living my life, other people on my mind. I use my life to push the future down. There are stories you can keep now.
Alrighty, and that was the first track, An Easier Affair. And I love the lyrics in this song because I feel like he is talking about his sexuality. He's saying, here comes one for the ladies, for the ones who love me. To think I thought I could be some kind of family man. I told myself I was straight, but I should have worried. And I'm dancing with the freaks now. So I feel like he has finally come to terms with his sexuality. He's finally embracing it. That he is gay and no longer straight. He's not trying to hide it. Too young and stupid to see, I put my life in their hands. Gonna look for Cupid. I really like this lyric here. Sticks and stones won't kill the boner that I have for my life. Honestly, same. And now he's dancing with the freaks, so I like the message behind the song. At least from what I'm gathering, he's talking about his newfound freedom within his sexuality, being able to embrace it now, not being able to hide. And yeah, that's what I like about the song. I didn't care for the song in general. I don't think this would be a George Michael song I would listen to over and over and over again. I would go back to it for the lyrics, but I don't know, that's about it. So now let's move on to the second track of this playlist, which is This Is Not Real Love, featuring, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, Matya? Please tell me in the comments if I mispronounced that. Matya? I don't know, I am so sorry.
I want you to hear the things I said. The clock was always ticking in your heart. And I don't think you should stay for the night. Baby, you know that things too hard. This is my real love. Don't you know the time, baby? Look at yourself. I gotta leave. Nothing to hold. Oh, baby, crying. Do I have to make it plain? I said, this is my real love. I had to set you free.
Okay, and that was track number 2, This Is Not Real Love, featuring Matya. Once again, I probably mispronounced that. I'm so sorry. You can tell I'm Canadian because I say sorry all the time. Anyway, I liked the female vocalist. I thought her voice was very beautiful. To me, that was the highlight of the song. I don't want to say this, but I felt the song was a little boring. It was kind of putting me to sleep. This obviously won't be a George Michael song I'll go back to. I don't think it's very memorable. I don't know, it wasn't really doing it for me. And the song itself is pretty straightforward. He's saying, do I have to make it plain? This is not real love. It don't glisten and shine the way it used to. This is not real love. So now let's move on to the third track, Understand.
Woman, don't you ever wonder where you'd be if I just walked on by? When you're young, you think you're winning. There's no way to God to hear me, baby. They don't even try.
Okay, and that was the third track, Understand. I really liked this song. I love the production. It was kind of country-ish, which, believe it or not, I actually enjoy country music. Not all country music, just specific kinds. And I liked it. It put me in a very mellow mood. The production was really good. His voice was so soothing. The whole song was very soothing, and I really enjoyed listening to it. Out of the three tracks I've listened to so far, this one is my favorite. I would definitely listen to this song again. I really like it. Anyway, let's move on to track 4 on this playlist. You Know That I Want To.
Love I don't love too much. It's a bad thing. All that I know is that love don't belong here. I can't stop, but you know that I want to. I can't stop, don't you know that I want you? Can't stop, but you know that I want to. Everybody's got something going in their lives. What you say? I can't stop, but you know that I want to. I can't stop, but you know that I want to. I can't stop, don't you know that I want you?
Alrighty, and that was the fourth track, You Know That I Want To, and so silky smooth his voice. I mean, I've said this so many times, I probably sound like a broken record, but I really don't care. His voice, especially combined with jazz, it gives me a musical boner, honestly. I feel like this song was also kind of R&B. It sounded a little R&B in parts. And it was really nice. This is another one of my favorite tracks so far on this playlist. It definitely has a catchy hook. I feel like out of the 4 tracks I've listened to so far, this has the catchiest hook. And it kind of does get stuck in your head. So now let's move on to the next track, which is If You Were There.
Come on, baby. You're the one that makes my day a dream come true. If you were there, you know.
I thought I listened to this song already. Okay, yes, I am an idiot. I have heard this song before. It is from Wham's second album, Make It Big, If You Were There. I don't know why I didn't catch that initially. The track does say George Michael and Wham, so I'm just an idiot. I don't know what happened there, but yes, I've heard this song already. It's a great song. It's catchy. I enjoy listening to it, but because I've heard it already, we're gonna move on to the next track. Safe.
Sweet thing, I know how strong that I appear. My darkest fears will find their way, and it's hard not to feel this way. You made me feel safe.
Alrighty, and that was Safe. And oh my god, the song is a little haunted. I will say that part where he goes, ooh. I don't know. To me, there's just something very haunting. That's the best word I can use to explain how I felt when I was listening to that song. I really liked it. It's one of my favorites on the playlist so far. I also like the atmosphere that the production sets. It's very, once again, I'm gonna use haunting. It's just a very haunting track. So now we're gonna move on to the final song of the 25 album from 2006 called Please Send Me Someone and Samba Song.
Some people say if I could only care for you, can't see it in his eyes. He keeps it all inside himself to live this way. And for 1,000 days underground. And don't you think Nothing and nothing was just fine. So say that you will show me right from.
Okay, and that was Please Send Me Someone and Samba Song. And I liked this song. It was tropical, in my opinion. It sounded very tropical, very summery. I liked it. I liked listening to it. It was reminding me of The Beach, a song I would listen to if I was relaxing on the sand, by the waves, by the shore. So now that we're done, his greatest hits album from 2006, called 25, will now be moving on to his Listen Without Prejudice MTV Unplugged album, which was a reissue of his Listen Without Prejudice album with remastered songs and bonus tracks that I haven't heard yet. There are 4 of them, and the first one is called If You Were My Woman.
If you were my woman and I was your man, if you had the strength to walk out that door, he tears you down, darling, says you're nothing at all. When he lets you fall, you're like a diamond, but he treats you like glass. When me, you don't ask if you were my woman, if you were my woman. Will he hang on your mind? But I'm too afraid to show it. You were my woman, if you were my woman. No, whoa, you were my woman. I never, no.
Alrighty, and that was If You Were My Woman. Oh my god, I adore this song. It was so good. His voice live is, I love hearing him live. He sounds so good. The emotion in his voice, and for some reason I thought this would be a studio recording. I don't know why I thought that, because this is the MTV Unplugged Listen Without Prejudice version. So I don't know, but I'm happy that it was sung live. I'm glad this track was live because it's so great. So now let's move on to Crazy Man Dance.
I'm still here, but I'm so scared. I just can't take you. Pain is fear. I have a baby stare. I came here, all dreams and white eyes and a big city. Crazy man dance, crazy man dance, crazy man dance, crazy man dance, crazy man. It's just not fair. Yesterday's newspapers, I wrap them around my body. Crazy man dance, crazy man dance, crazy man dance.
Alrighty, so that was Crazy Mad Dads. Oh my god, I'm using oh my god a lot, aren't I? And sorry. But this song, I really liked it. This is obviously one of my favorite tracks on the playlist, if not, dare I say it, my favorite. It was really good, and obviously I feel like there might be some sort of political undertone from this track. There are police sirens in the background of this track. And he's singing about, but I just can't take New York. My middle name is Fear. I have a vacant stare. All dreams and wide eyes in the big, big city. No family, no money. Every street and every corner, watch them drown. Men and women to the slaughter, we just stand and watch them do the crazy mad dance. Stuck here in New York, so people don't come near unless you've a dollar to spare. And then he goes on to say, yesterday's newspapers, I wrap them around my body. Outside these skyscrapers, I wait for the night to hit me. Watch them do the crazy mad dance for a nickel or a quarter for your pleasure. Watch them do the crazy mad dance. I don't know, I feel like this song might be about homelessness, youth homelessness, and perhaps prostitution. People who come to the big city with no money and no family, who are perhaps homeless, who have to wrap themselves in newspapers, who are begging for nickels or quarters for your pleasure. And also the struggle it is to live in a place like New York where there's so much competition, and how difficult it is, I imagine, to live in somewhere like New York. I've never been to New York, just from what I've seen in movies. Look at my face, why don't you look at my eyes? You'd rather look at your feet, you'd rather look at the skies, you'd look anywhere. But a man whose pure existence says, I ain't got time. I don't know, this is reminding me of when I'm downtown in my city and I'm running about, going from place to place, and there are people on the streets who are homeless, and they come up to me, talk to me, want to ask me a question, and I pretend they don't exist. I don't look at them. I look up at the sky. I look up at a building. I don't try to look at them or pay any attention to them in hopes that they just walk away. So this is kind of reminding me of that. And when I do think about it, I do feel bad for ignoring so many people who do come up to me, ask me a question, they ask for $1 or $2, something so they can eat, and I feel bad, but at the same time, it's my safety. My safety comes first, and the downtown area in my city is pretty bad, so I always put my safety first, and that's why I ignore a lot of homeless people who do ask for money from me, and I feel bad, but I think perhaps maybe if I'm to give them money, they'll use it towards drugs or alcohol. There's always a chance they'll use it towards food, but there's always the greater chance that they'll just take my money and use it towards a drug or some sort of alcohol. And I don't know, it's a very tricky line to cross, and it's a very tight rope to balance upon, and I don't know what I should do in situations like that, but for my safety, I usually just ignore it. Let's move on to Do You Really Want to Know?
Ask those questions, baby. Just to get them out of my head. Well, I've been a good boy and I've been a bad boy. Really want to know, really want to know, you really want to know. You never would have made it past holding my hand. 'Cause there's just no question, baby, that you know what you're doing in bed. Do I really want to know your why? Hey, baby, it's one thing to kiss, one thing to know. Can kill.
Alrighty, so that was Do You Really Want to Know? And this was a fun dance song. As you just saw, I was bouncing up and down on my yoga ball. Very high energy, and it put me in a good mood. And you don't hear a lot of dance tracks from George Michael, which is really sad, but I really enjoyed this song. It was a lot of fun. So now let's move on to the final track of this Listen Without Prejudice MTV Unplugged album, which is called Happy. Wow. Alrighty, and that was Happy. This song was a lot of fun to listen to. I really liked it. I really liked the lyrics. They made me laugh. Some poor cow with a 7-year itch. You don't dig men, but you fuck him if they're rich. You can't be with me. You're a low-life daughter of a son of a bitch. Wow. These are the things that keep you happy, honey. See you in the corner with your rub it on tan. Hitching a ride could be a woman or a man. All I'm gonna say is that this is the most fun I've had so far in this video listening to a George Michael song. It just, I don't know, it put a smile on my face. Anyway, now let's move on to the track Let Her Down Easy from 2014, which is from his album Symphonica. And the song itself isn't an original George Michael song. I'm seeing here that it is a song written and produced by Terence Trent D'Arby for his 1993 album Symphony or Dab. And I just want to quickly point out, I want to go back to the album 25 and the track listing for this album. I mean, there's so many different releases. There's the international release of the 2006 album Greatest Hits 25, Disc 1 for Living, and then there's Disc 2 for Loving, and then Disc 3 for The Loyal, which is a limited edition only. And then there's a digital download version with 2 bonus tracks and 4 videos. And then there's the North American release. And then there is the Best Buy exclusive. And then there is the Australian release with the bonus 2010 Australian tour disc. So there's so many different versions of this Greatest Hits album.
You're top man on scene. You don't think life comes in between. But man, you've been around the world. Even though there's nothing I can say to cheat you and reach you anyway.
Okay, and that was Let Her Down Easy. Oh my god, yes! This song, this track, so beautiful. It was so touching, and just beautiful is the only word I can use to describe the song. Even though the song is worthy of a word much stronger than beautiful. Beautiful, it's simply beautiful and gorgeous and wonderful and touching. I really enjoyed this track. It was so gentle, and read the lyrics are so touching. This track really does make me want to listen to his Symphonica album now. I was going to listen to it regardless, but as to whether I will listen to it on camera for you guys, I don't know. It is a live album from 2014. I don't know, maybe down the line, if you guys want me to, I will do a video to me listening to this album. So there are 3 tracks left in this playlist. We will now be moving on to his White Light EP that was released in 2012 in order to commemorate the 30th year anniversary since his first single. There are 2 tracks in particular, White Light and Song to the Siren. So let's check out White Light first.
Just one more bit, one less star in the atmosphere. Heartless pictures on TV, change that channel, it couldn't be. Breathing, my friends, waiting for the man to choose.
Okay, and that was White Light. George Michael goes electronic. Did I ever think I would see the day that he would go electronic? This is very 2012. This was released in 2012 when EDM was a big thing. And I liked it. It was cool. It was cool to listen to a George Michael song that was more electronic and more modern sounding. He also used the word fuck in the song, which I haven't heard him use the word fuck before in any of his songs, from what I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. He says, and I don't know what the hell, what the gods, what the fuck I'm saying half the time. Waiting for some god to choose, saying this ain't the day that it ends, cause there's no white light and I'm not through. I'm alive, and I've got so much more that I want to do. So he's embracing the fact that he's still alive and he has so much more to do. He isn't ready to die, perhaps. I know that some of you have let me know that he has dabbled in drugs. He had a drug addiction. I don't know too much about his addiction and his private life and what he went through. Maybe you guys could share with me in the comments. So now we will move on to the second track from his White Light EP called Song to the Siren.
I'm floating, shipless oceans, till your singers of fingers sail to me, let me unfold you. Here I am. Did I dream you dreamed about me? Now my foolish boat is leaving. Oh, my heart shines full of sorrow. It's time.
And that was Song to the Siren. This is probably, in my opinion, the most beautiful song on this playlist so far. It was so sad, but it was so tender and special, and his voice and the production, it made me sad, but at the same time, it was a beautiful kind of sad, and I don't know, it just put me in a very euphoric and interesting mindset. It was just very beautiful. So now we have made it to the end of this playlist, the final track, which is called This Is How We Want to Get High. Now it says this single was released 3 years after his death. It was released as part of the soundtrack to the film Last Christmas. It's saying the song was written in 2012 and later recorded at London's Air Studios, with finishing touches done in 2015 during Michael's final recording sessions.
So you raise another glass, looking for a different space. Your daddy was a drinker, just kept drinking, telling jokes. He was thinking that true. I will always try to get my life together. Stormy weather. This is how we want you to get high, the way that we show ya. My daddy was a toga, just kept smoking till the jokes. He could tell got very blue. I will always. This is how we want you to get high, the way that we show ya. Dreaming of a sunnier day. It's hard to more than we've seen.
Alrighty, and that was the final track. This Is How We Want You to Get High. This song is pretty serious. He's talking about your daddy was a drinker, just kept drinking till the jokes he was thinking sounded true. Your mama was a thinker, she just wasn't thinking of the day that you looked at her. He also says, beyond your sorry lives, take another, take another. I never picked a fight in my life or raised a hand to my wife or saw my children as things to bully. So this song is clearly about domestic abuse of sorts, verbal and physical. It's about alcoholism, an alcoholic parent, perhaps drugs as well. Like I said, abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse, what have you. So it's not a very happy song. I did enjoy the song, but it is a little difficult to listen to and read if you have been in a situation where you had abusive parents or you lived with abusive people who were psychologically abusing you or physically, sexually, and there was alcohol abuse, drug abuse, what have you, any sort of abuse. I feel like this song would be a little difficult to listen to. It doesn't put you in the happiest of mood, I can say that. So that is the end of my playlist. I really enjoyed listening to all these songs. There are so many that I really enjoyed listening to. There are a couple that I probably won't listen to again. They didn't really stick with me, but quite a few of them I thought were really good, and I will definitely add to my George Michael and Wham playlist. So what are your favorite tracks? I imagine I probably missed a couple tracks. I don't know. These are tracks I found on Apple Music. What are your favorite tracks from the ones I listened to? And I don't have much to say. I think I said everything I wanted to. So after this video, I will now be moving on to my final George Michael video, which will be his Patience album. I'm not ready for this journey to be over, but in a way, I am because it's a lot of George Michael. It's always bittersweet to finish one of these discography journeys because I consume so much material from a single artist that it becomes overwhelming to a point, and I get a bit of fatigue, and I feel like I'm getting a bit of George Michael fatigue. So in a way, I'm happy I'm finishing this discography journey, but I'm also a little unhappy because I never want these discography journeys to end. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that. So thanks for watching, guys.
You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artist from any decade, and you can find me on TikTok. I just discovered TikTok recently, a couple days ago, and I'm addicted to it, so.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'm out of breath. I'm tired. This video has been exhausting. So see you later, guys. I will see you next time. Blah, blah, blah. Bye. Okay, I'm done.